Let's briefly take a look at the software industry now and see who else, apart from Ivar, is speaking about Essence and recognizing the power of Essence that we're talking to you about here. Essence will revolutionize the software industry. Perhaps not a surprise when it's spoken by the man who was one of the creators, but not everybody on this page is a creator of Essence. Joachim Sunden was one of the agile coaches at Spotify when they created the Spotify model, and he describes Essence as the perfect fit for this essentially agile approach to organizational design and development, supporting both autonomy and alignment, which is key to the Spotify model. Rebecca Werfs-Brock is the inventor of responsibility-driven design. One of the things I think Essence offers is opening up possibilities to understand the disciplined agile delivery methodology. Jeff Sutherland, Dr. Jeff Sutherland, co-creator of Scrum, Essence can quickly identify the cause of failure. It's the key to success. This was in the context of his statement that teams don't do Scrum well. 58% of agile teams using Scrum fail to deliver, and a third of Scrum teams, they do about a third of Scrum right, a third of Scrum wrong, and a third they don't really do at all. Using Essence can highlight which third is which for each team. Even just doing that, identifying where you're not applying a method well because you didn't realize that was what you were doing was wrong, is a massive way to improve the effectiveness of your team. And that's what he's finding. Joseph Pellerin, agile psychologist, one of the first certified Scrum trainers in Europe, former CTO of eBay, considers Essence to be potentially the biggest step forward in the method space since the Agile Manifesto. Scott Ambler, creator of the disciplined agile delivery and various versions of that before, one of the most important things happening in the software engineering space. And Scott's working on Essence practices for his own use because he sees the value in it for his own work as well. And Nigel Thurlow, the co-creator of the Flow system, we really, truly believe this is a very powerful, even game-changing paradigm shift. So there's lots of strong words there. None of these people were strong-armed into making these quotes. This is them as independent professionals, mostly without a particular thing to particularly sell, even those with something to sell like Nigel and Scott. Their vision is all about finding the right thing for teams, not necessarily it's got to be their thing. So there's a lot of very strong support for Essence from the wider industry. And we can look at those same names and one or two others when you connect them with the practices that they've been working on. So we've got the bigger practices that are combinations of practices at the top with Scrum at Scale, Disciplined Agile, the Flow system, then individual practices like acceptance test-driven design, behavior-driven design, story mapping, etc. in the middle. Now, one thing you'll notice with this list is that all these people are on the same page, and they've all used the Essence language and the Essence kernel, and they've all collaborated with IGI to create an Essence version of their practices. That's really not very common. Methodologists are not known for collaborating particularly well with each other. In fact, almost the opposite. You know, there have been cases in the past where methodologists have been accused of pinching somebody else's work and incorporating it into their own method so that you now have to buy their method and it includes somebody else's work. Whereas what we see here is people collaborating and working together. Ivar tells the joke sometimes that there's a difference between methodologists and terrorists, which is that you can negotiate with terrorists. Methodologists have been very protective over their way of working and the way that people engage with their practices in the past. Essence has helped liberate that and democratize it. So there's a really interesting message there that this is about democratizing practices, opening them out to people, and making it easy for me to pick, for example, an individual practice that might have been bundled inside somebody else's method and might even still be bundled inside somebody else's method, but now I can get it and I can mix and match the best bits from each person's thing. I can take a bit from Scrum at Scale, a bit from Disciplined Agile, a bit from Kanban, and that might be the right combination from my team today, and that just wasn't possible before. So it's really quite a powerful benefit of Essence.